My name is Elizabeth Howard, and I want to welcome all of you to this nice policy briefing. We're so pleased that Senator Maggie Hassan from New Hampshire is going to open this program. I know that Senator Hassan got into politics because she wanted to make a change within the educational system for her son. So we know that she knows how to support us in what we're doing. Senator Hassan.
Well, what a pleasure to be here this afternoon with all of you, and I want to thank you, Elizabeth, for the introduction and for all the work that went into today's event. I want to thank all the students and teachers who are with us today. I am married to a teacher. I'm the daughter of teachers, a granddaughter of teachers, and the mother of a teacher, so I am always surrounded, which is a very good thing. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your proactive efforts. They're part of a really all-hands-on-deck approach that we need to use to find solutions to keep our students safe. Your efforts represent an innovative way of addressing school violence by preventing bullying and de-escalating tension between students through conflict resolution, focusing on mental health counseling, supporting students' emotional and academic growth, and taking the pressure off of teachers and ensuring that schools are equipped with highly trained individuals who can help solve problems. I'll continue looking for bipartisan solutions in Congress to achieve that goal, and I look forward to working with all of you. So thank you again, Diana, and the entire NICE program for all of your efforts. I hope you enjoy the rest of this briefing, and I hope after the briefing we will be getting more feedback about steps we can take legislatively to continue this.
So now I'm going to introduce Dr. Rodriguez, who's a teacher at Ramapo High School in Spring Valley, New York. He holds a master's and a PhD from Columbia University Teachers College. He's taught for 12 years in the New York City public school system. He's also taught diplomats at the UN. He has a long teaching career.
When the NICE program was introduced to me this last school year, I knew that the program had the potential to empower students by giving them a voice. The program had the following impact in our schools. It brought a reduction in violence, school suspension, and bullying. The feeling, just the feeling of safeness in that classroom is the soil for the teacher to plant the seed. When that is done, then my student can learn. This program is not designed for only one ethnic group. It is for all the children of this great nation. It is for peace. It is for the future for all our youth. God bless the youth of America.
I'm going to introduce Diana Wege. Diana is a conceptual artist, and much of her work focuses on the environment and social justice. She advocates to reject violence. In 2017, she founded and has funded Nurturing Inclusive Community Environment, or NICE, as a program of Woven. We oppose violence everywhere now. NICE was founded to provide a solution for the epidemic of school shootings in the United States and to end the school-to-prison pipeline. Diana.
It is my honor to introduce the NICE program, which stands for, as you know, Nurturing Inclusive Community Environment. Of course, there are many organizations across the country who are also providing conflict resolution tools to children and school administrators, and we acknowledge that they are making an impact. However, a large percentage of students continue to fall through the cracks by either entering the school-to-prison pipeline or becoming school shooters, causing harm to themselves and others, and our program aims to address this particular issue. According to the Census Bureau, Colorado spends $9,575 per student in comparison to $30,000 per prison inmate. Florida spends $8,920 per student in comparison to $20,000 per inmate. Illinois spends $10,000 per student in comparison to $38,000 per inmate. So we spend almost 3 times as much on an inmate as we do on our students. Michigan spends $9,000 per student in comparison to $26,000 per inmate. New York spends $18,000 per student in comparison to $58,000 per inmate. So we can certainly work on redirecting these funds. Sometimes people say to me, well, how are you going to pay for the NICE program all over the country? So we've got several thousand in there as we reduce the amount of violence and inmates in prison to now focus on the children. If you look at the statistics, the numbers simply do not lie. This type of work is desperately needed now. Another benefit of the NICE program is that it is a jobs program for your states. Our program will be creating full-time jobs that are both fulfilling and rewarding, in addition to providing good pay and benefits to your constituents. The goodwill created in schools will have a ripple effect out into the lives of the students, teachers, their families, and the neighborhood, and could essentially transform our entire society into a more peaceful place to live. Children are the true infrastructure of this country, more important than bridges, roads, and tunnels. And this is how we make America great. Thank you.
This sounds like an amazing program, this culture of caring. And it sounds like you're creating a culture within the schools. And so how do you address when there is resistance? Like how do you reach out to that kid? And is there anything specific that you're working in tandem with to reduce gun violence in schools?
The teachers and the students and staff who are maybe not as on board but kind of think it might be a good idea, we give them a lot of support.
Program here is to kind of like be somewhat of like intervention. And so since we do have the data showing that a lot of the school shooters do feel like they were bullied or persecuted in some way prior to, the NICE program is kind of there to make sure we catch those things really quickly. So a lot of the NICE staff members sit and observe at the classrooms, and they see the issues, and they work with the teachers to kind of build the curriculum and the circles around that. So that's kind of like the way that addresses that issue.
Have a safe space to address their stress. I think it's really great. But how does this happen? Like, can you give me an example?
We have circles, so that's like a safe space for the students to come during lunchtime. So they can come, they have lunch, and they also have the chance to talk about something that they feel they need to talk.
First we just, talk because we have friends. It's lunchtime, we have fun. After we eat, then we start talking about what we want.
Now the circle is an ancient practice. The indigenous people here in the United States used to sit together in a circle format, and they sit and they talk. We do the same. So once you have the talking piece, you can just keep the talking piece for a while and then pass it to your classmate.
There is violence in our school, and you come from a broken home, so you don't know any better. When we first heard about the program, we were like, we're not going, we don't want to go. Because what's the point of us speaking our mind? But as we got involved, we saw that they do care and they are trying to make a difference. So a lot of kids are actually participating.
We would love to know more about the legislation that you're working on and how we can work with you to see that programs, the NICE program and programs like the NICE program are actually incorporated into legislation that's coming up. So thank you very much.